And welcome into Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor. This might not be an easy one, Razor. And then again, maybe it will be. Boston Bruins lose to the Dallas Stars at home. 5-2 empty net goal. What was it, Jamie Benn who scored that last one? I was on my way to the studio, Razor, at the time. I'm pretty sure it was Ben that scored it there. Make it 5-2. And the Boston Bruins just don't help themselves in this game. I really don't think, Razor, I want to get into the minutia and the numbers of the game, so to speak. I mean, we'll talk a little of this and a little of that. I think I want to talk eye test in this game. You had a different view for this one as the host. That's right, folks, as the host, capital H-O-S-T, of the Altcast, the unobstructed views on Nesson. While I had a different view for a Bruins game doing on the glass ringside. And I think it created a different perspective for me. I'll ask if it did for you as well, having to sit down, the opportunity to chat with Patrice and Tuca. I wonder if that gave you any different view or not. But overall, I will just say disappointing. That's my word for this one. I was disappointed by it. But before we get to that, partner, I'm never disappointed to promote our lead in-pod sponsor, Fazenda. Fazenda Coffee is the absolute best place to go if you're a coffee fan and you want to try different blends, different roasts, whole bean. They'll grind it for you as well. They'll ship just about anywhere, U.S., Canada. Go check out fazendacoffee.com. And hats are being picked up tomorrow. Hats are being delivered tomorrow to Fazenda. Fazenda Coffee, that's F-A-Z-E-N-D-A. Fazenda Coffee will be the place where you can get your morning brew with Jaffe and Razor hat in addition to your coffee. I think they have some travelers as well, still remaining a couple there. So go check out fazendacoffee.com/morning brew. And listen, if you got a wholesale business, retail, whatever, talk to Fazenda. They are Boston's, really, the Boston's boutique roaster that is just phenomenal. So, but the hats, that's what I'm trying to find the positive. Hats are coming in.
It's very positive.
Isn't it? It is. All right. So, Razor, all right, before we really dive in, how was your night? How was your night on the couch?
It was fun. It was, yeah, I mean, Bergie and Tuca did an awesome job. They were great. Right off the bat, they were ready to go and had notes and took it seriously. So my hosting, quote unquote, hosting work was pretty easy. We just kind of talked, so it was good. They did a really good job, like I said. They're positive guys, very, very positive. So didn't have the same feel probably as you did in the Garden, and like
I guarantee you it didn't.
Yeah, we were pretty positive, like trying to be optimistic, and so that was good perspective, I guess, for tonight's game. Listening to the captain talk about just having to stick with it, so he knows as well as anybody.
And sticking with it is obvious. I mean, it's easy to make grandiose statements, hyperbole or hyperbolic, if whatever the term is. You don't, and you don't want to disregard like it's no big deal, right? The effort, the result, Razor. But on the other hand, yeah, you do have to try and keep it in perspective, and you do have to keep to the process. Man, oh man, we've heard about the process,
yep.
et cetera, needs to get better. Well, the process needs to get better, Razor. It needs to get better. I mean,
yeah, you can't take penalties. I mean, the penalties are just, that's
what I want to talk about. The eye test.
That start of the second period was just hard, difficult. And then of course the way they're killing is not helping now either. That's a whole nother story too, right?
So is it the fact that they're just being required to kill so many penalties that eventually the PK is going to get dissected, or is it the penalty kill isn't good right now? Or is it a combination of both?
I think it's a combination of both. I think it started out just taking too many penalties, and now, like tonight, I thought they got exposed in the entries. Dallas absolutely had a game plan, and it was way too easy in the second period, especially those 3 goals. I mean, even if you take 3 penalties in 6 minutes, you got to kill one of them. When was the last time we saw 3 power play goals in 7 minutes? That's tough. And that's the game, right? at the end of the day, that's the game. That the way they started that. The second period's the game for me.
I would agree. I'm not going to say and disagree. I would say I would agree, but I would also say, to me, the game was also how the first period ended. After the Bruins get the goal, the nice play by Patra to basically intercept the bank pass from Dumba and then hitting Pastrnak in the low slot, and he rips a shot past. Surprise starter, by the way, Casey DeSmith. When I say surprise, meaning to most people watching, we all assume that Jake Ottinger would start. But then I thought, and I look early on, yeah, Swayman made some great saves. But then near the end of the period, even before Duchesne scored, I thought Dallas completely, from my vantage point, took control of the game. Like it was, oh man, like come on, like you couldn't extend the lead on the power play. That was very ineffective again. Mm-hmm. And then Dallas kept coming. And the next thing you know, at one point, I think it was 11 or 12 or 11-6 in shots, something like that. But 4 of the 6, I would say, were high danger chances. And then they had 3 or 4 more before Duchesne's goal ends up going in. And I'm not saying that was the game there. I'm saying that, to me, completely changed the tone of the game from okay, pretty good. All right, I like what I see, to, man, oh man, this feels, at least from where I was partner, more of the same.
Yeah, and that's what it turned out to be, I guess. At the, to be down 4-1, you're getting, so then you're being outscored 8-1 over 87 minutes. So that ain't gonna work.
No, not gonna work. You've been on teams. I've been on teams, but that take a lot of penalties. But you've been on teams in the NHL that have, and I haven't. Why does it happen? And why is this happening? Because at times they seem retaliatory, frustration, perhaps a little bit of trying to do too much, and then at times almost lazy. But you've been there. You've seen teams go down the penalty-filled hole, the abyss of taking bad penalties.
Yeah.
Isn't it more mental than anything? Isn't it? I mean, this screams mental lapse to me right now.
Yeah, and they don't have the puck enough, right? They don't have the
That's
puck
what
enough.
I want to get to as well. Thank you.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So a lot of it is they're turning pucks over and they're trying to get it back, and they're getting sticks in the way. And tonight was a little more retaliatory, like there's a couple frustrating penalties, guys being frustrated. But it's those offensive zone ones where they're trying to forecheck and they can't, and they don't get the puck back, and they put a stick in, or they, a tripping call or a high stick because they're lifting sticks and it misses, and they just don't have the puck enough. And there's too many, especially at the start of the season, every year the refs are very
by the book. Yeah,
by the book, and they're very intent on calling penalties. And if you don't have the puck a lot, if you're chasing games, and if it starts to get away, they're going to just keep calling them. It doesn't stop. It doesn't go away. And I thought that happened tonight as well. Like, you can go through and a few of them are, you're watching like, why is he calling that? But that's just what it happens in the NHL in October. It's like clockwork. And again, if you're on the wrong side of it, and the Bruins haven't been the last few years, they've been the beneficiaries of it, where their power play is good and they're scoring goals early in the season, and they're getting more power plays than they're not. You have a good record. And when you're on this side of it, the way they are right now, you have not so good record.
They were shorthanded 5 times in this game. So, and 3 power plays goals scored against. Second time this year, the 3 power play goals have been scored against them in a game. The other, you can't win on that. No,
it's impossible.
40 times now shorthanded. Let me repeat that. 40 in 8 games.
Yeah.
The offensive zone penalties are maddening. I can't imagine what the bench is like when another one of those bad offensive zone penalties is being taken. And how can you blame a coach or a coaching staff being upset for those type of penalties? I don't care if you're coaching Evie's team in Rochester coming up, partner, and they did
I'll be
that.
losing my mind. Yeah.
You'd be exactly. That's my point. Like you know, with the nicest kids in the world, you'd still be losing your mind. I do it with Jake's team, and you know what I mean. Like, so I couldn't agree with you more about the statement of they don't have the puck enough. Can we talk about that? Like,
yeah,
is it there was concern or I guess comments about their the size, and by the way, we applauded the addition of the size, but we didn't think, I won't speak for you, I didn't think that they would be that slow. But they're not getting to pucks right now. They're not holding on to pucks when they get them. They're not supporting pucks, Razor, enough when they get them, and it leads to not having the puck enough. And I couldn't agree with you more. What else are you seeing why they're not getting the puck back or having the puck?
I still feel like they're turning down shots. I feel like they're trying to make plays that just aren't there. I think they're looking for seam passes all the time. They're still looking to the middle in the defensive zone. And I feel like they're just looking for stuff that's not there. It just feels like it's similar to maybe when they got up 3-1 on Florida a couple years ago, where they continued to make plays when they weren't there, and they continued to get burned on it, and they continued to just be stubborn about it. Like a simple play in the second period, they hadn't had any shots on goal. They'd given up a couple power play goals. They have a little 4-on-3. Like it's a nothing opportunity, and they tried to force it through the middle. McAvoy's going down the right wing, and he doesn't put it on net. Just tries to throw it to the middle of the ice, and it comes back down the other way. And I feel like that's happening a lot. And that really starts to, because not everyone's on the same page, and they're not quite sure, is it a seam pass this time or is it a shot on goal? No one's doing the same thing, and it's hard to forecheck. It's hard to get ahead of the play if you're not really reading off of each other well. And I don't think they are reading well off of each other, because there's no rhyme or reason to what their process is right now. No. Certainly in the offensive zone.
No, I agree. I also don't think their breakouts have been great. And breakouts lead to speed. Speed leads to opportunity to push back the opponent, etc. Boy, how many times have they iced the puck on power plays too?
So many icings.
That's mindset.
Mm-hmm.
That is mindset. That is focus. I saw them a few times, guys looking at each other like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Again, the perspective from down there, on the glass, it's amazing how different it is, because, the camera, when you're upstairs on the 5th, where we do our studio from Nesson, you're watching the game from afar, not too far, but far enough. And then you're also utilizing replay for this and that. So you get what the camera shows you on those replays. But here, when you're ringside, I'm telling you everything, I'm just doing this for the listeners and viewers out there, is that you can see the little conversations. You can see the facial expressions. You can see the body language. I got to tell you, bud, I didn't love the body language of some of the guys.
Yeah.
I didn't, and there's just this thing, and yes, perspective, and yes, you still understand it's early, but ... We get all that. But there's just like you can completely, I can tell at least, there's this disconnect right now. How do you fix the disconnect? I'm more or less, Razor, I'm throwing it out there. I don't even know if you have an answer to it. I'm just kind of rhetorically asking.
Yeah.
How do you fix a disconnect like that?
Well, there's no magic bullet, that's for sure. There's no answer, because if everyone had the answer to that, then coaches would never get fired or players would never get cut. And so that's the hard part, because you can be aware of it. You can know that it's necessary as players and as an organization, as a team, but it's it's as simple as saying you have to work through it, but it's not that simple, right? That's the problem. It's because that's really what it is, but you have to change mindset within that. You have to change ideas, and you just have to continually press little different buttons until you something clicks, and it's a tough feeling that you don't want to get to that feeling. And again, I don't think they're certainly not at rock bottom, but there's some soul searching being done, and that's tough. That's a tough place to be. It makes for a long season if you're soul searching for too long at different stretches of the season.
Yeah, and it's, I think, got to be very frustrating and concerning that they're soul searching this early. But
Correct.
they are.
Yeah.
They are. You can't sugarcoat it. Just to kind of talk a little more about the penalties. We know that, Zadorov is taking penalties a lot. He's got 21 minutes in penalties so far. And
tonight it was the big boys, right?
Well, that's what I say.
David and
that's what I was going to say. So he leads them with 9 penalties taken, and so far. But Pastrnak, 7.
Yeah,
7 penalties, 14 minutes in PIMS through these 8 games, and it's where he's taking penalties. That's the most. Isn't that the most frustrating thing? Again, we're going back to the ozone razor.
Well, that one tonight, the skate tripping thing, that's like, holy smokes. Yeah, that's frustrating. That's hard. Yeah. So I'm just looking up. I just wanted to, the most penalty minutes David's gotten a season is 47. That's last year. I mean, he's on pace to absolutely destroy it.
Yep.
And realistically, 47 is the outlier. Everything else is kind of low 30s his entire career. So that's saying something with where he's at right now too.
Yeah, it looks different. It looks different. It feels different. I hope they can make a difference and change this. Obviously, more fun for everybody. I think our listeners and viewers will like our show a lot more when it's a little more exciting. But right now, it doesn't feel good. With that said, it is early. They're under 10 games into the season, and they have another mega matchup coming. All right, they've had 2 with Florida early on in this season that they didn't fare too well in, obviously, losing both of them. And now they got a game with Toronto on Saturday night. I'm going to sit here and say I hope that this is the type of game that gets their attention and gets them at least pointed or turned a little bit in the right direction, partner. But I would have thought the Dallas game would have done that too. I mean, Dallas is a team that many people have listed as coming out of the West, or at least battling Edmonton. Again, coming out of the West, for what it's worth. I mean, that's just, prognostication, but they're a good team. I don't know if Dallas is awesome, but they're a good team, and they'll add to it again. Very good. But, I didn't see the focus and determination and kind of that antenna upness, you know what I mean, that you have in a big game. Maybe Toronto, and being their, along with Florida, their arch villain nemesis, gets them set. Meanwhile, Toronto's lost their last 2, so they're going to come into this game all pissed off, looking to make a statement. I know you always say there's no easy games, and I get it, and you lived it, but holy shit, they better be ready for Saturday night. They better be, because Toronto's got a high-powered team. Whatever their record is today, and whatever happened in their last 2 games, you know it, I know it, the listeners, fans know it. They can bring it.
Yeah, you can't take 5 penalties, so you can't put them on the power play 5 or 6 or 7 times again. That's a recipe for trouble again. So yeah, you've got a big day and a half, 48 hours, 37 hours, I guess, when you get out of bed in the morning to get cooking with whatever the next part of the process is for this team, and getting through to to get the, and again, it's Brad said it after the game. I was watching some of the comments, and it's those guys. They've got to do it. It's Brad, it's David, it's Zaka. It's
Coyle,
very obvious.
it's
You see
Coyle,
it.
it's McAvoy, it's
Yeah.
all of them.
It's all of them.
It's all those big guys.
Yeah.
It's
Like
it
that's
is.
they're not like that, and that should be that's again, half glass full side of things. It's like those guys aren't even scratching the surface of how they typically play.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to, it's on those individuals, the best players. If the best players were very good, playing great, and they were still losing, that's big trouble. Like these
Mm-hmm.
guys, I'm giving these guys the benefit of the doubt. I think they deserve the benefit. The McAvoys, the Marchands, the passes, they deserve the benefit of the doubt that they can turn this around. They've done it before. They've done it for a long time. It's not they deserve that. They have to do it. Don't get me wrong, but I think that's part of the good news for me, is that it's up to them, and I think they do find their way through it.
Well, I sure hope so. Coyle came out with a shoot first mentality in the third period. Their line got a little bit of stuff going. That was good. Brazeau comes in after being scratched a bit, and
He was good.
He was
I
good.
thought he was around the net.
Yeah, he did that. He has to, but I agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more. I've got it scratched out over here. Top guys with a double exclamation point.
Uh-huh.
So you just brought that up. I was going to lead you into that, but you brought that up, and it is up to those top guys. Brad was very good post game. I went into the scrums, asked the questions, and it was, fun. I mean, when I say fun, meaning being there talking to the guys is always a good thing. But he was, very controlled. But you could tell his intensity was there. You could tell, like, the comments that you're referring to. They need to come through. All right, so that wasn't a good game, but it is good. Actually, better than good. It's great. Our sponsors. And one of our favorites is one of the new ones, and it's favorite because Bay Dog Canine Adventure Gear is near and dear to our heart because of our dogs, Mila and Cooper. This is an awesome company that is 100% veteran-owned business. They make unbelievable stuff, such high quality, but very reasonable priced, right? I mean,
I was going high quality. Yeah, Mila's collars, legit, so good.
And they have all different types of collars, and they can do personalized collars. They can do everything. And this is a company, as I said, that's 100% veteran owned. And this is a company also that takes supporting local businesses incredibly seriously, folks. They don't really put stuff on sale at baydog.com. So the fact that if you use the code MBREW to get you 15% off your entire first order, that is special. And they don't put stuff on sale, though, regularly, Razor, because they don't want to undercut their businesses, their retail partners that they sell to, the mom and pops out there, the independent pet stores. They're not on Amazon. They're not on Chewy.com. There are some awesome stores all over New England that carry Bay Dog too already. You mentioned, Razor, you were at one about a week ago, but there's Pet World in Natick, Wag Nation in Newport, Rhode Island, and Bark Harbor in Bar Harbor, Maine. They already carry the Bay Dog gear. There's so many more throughout the region too. They've got college gear. I was walking Cooper around the other day with his Michigan harness on, and everybody was like laughing and looking at him. And for Golden, the colors shine beautifully. They're already beautiful colors to begin with, but they really showed beautifully on him. Harnesses, leashes, collars, all again high quality, but yet incredibly reasonably priced. Go check out baydog.com. Baydog Canine Adventure Gear. If you have a dog, Razor, you want to put him in a nice home, right? Don't you? Don't you want to put him in a nice home? Well, if you want to go out and find a nice home or an apartment or whatever because you got a dog, go to RTN Realty. Go to RTN Realty and reach out to Chris Gentile and his staff of 16 agents and support staff, because they got you covered for whatever you're looking to do. If you're looking to buy, sell, lease, nothing too big or too small for RTN Realty. They handle all type of real estate transactions. They do it without the high pressure way that some other real estate agency or brokerages might do it. Chris has over 22 years of experience in real estate, and over 2,500 transactions. So go get your dog a nice house. Reach out to Chris at CGentile, CGentile at rtnrealty.com, or call him at 617-835-0845 for a no pressure consultation. You will love dealing with Chris and his group of guys and people. They make buying a house fun. Look for, again, no house too big, too small, and also they're in rentals too, so they will help you find whatever type of place you're looking for. Mass, Rhode Island, and New Hampshire is where they are licensed. And lastly, construction. Let's talk about Graciano Construction. Razor, you talk about all these projects that you have to do. Sometimes it can be overwhelming, right? You know, like, okay, what do you want to do here? What do you want to do there, and everything? All you got to do is call up Douglas Graciano, Doug Graciano Construction, and you can get one of this contractor that just comes in and talks to you about the project. Again, no pressure, just like RTN Realty, and he'll take you through what you want to do. He's not trying to upsell you or anything. And it's funny, we've done so many little projects with them here and there, and at the end, there's always a little something that you said, oh, I didn't realize they were going to do that. And they do it, and you're like, that's awesome. And it's just a personalized touch, Razor. So Graciano Construction is the place to go to revitalize and refresh your space. Visit GracianoConstruction.com or call them at 508-330-7589 and to discuss whatever you're looking to do. Just get a consultation with them, no matter what. No pressure. Again, just go and do that. And they do all different types of projects. So nothing they can't do. They are wonderful. Thank you to all of our sponsors. We're thinking of doing some more here. It's like you said, it's never ending. We have a real old house. You don't have a really old house.
No, it's not really old, but it's the next generation old, you know, like
but you've got
17 years old. Yeah.
You've got young kids. They're going to tear it up no matter what.
That's right? What I keep kind of saying. Yeah.
Right. So even if you
like a mudroom needs to get done, but like
that's
why would thing. That it's useful, but
yeah. Speaking of that, ruin it. We had Graciano Construction do our mudroom, and beautiful, absolutely beautiful, little touches and everything to it. So if you're ready, or when you're ready, we'll have you call up Doug. And if you're in the Massachusetts area, call up Graciano Construction. All right. Can we? I mean, can we look at this team and can we say this Boston Bruin team, getting back to talking about them and not, actually, let's talk about their construction a little bit, trying to make the connection right there. What did you think of the line changes going into this one, to where Montgomery, for the second game in a row, and his staff have really, moved things around?
Oh, excuse me. Big yawn.
Is that what you thought?
Yeah. No, I thought well, they went back to the fourth line real quickly, right?
Yes.
We were watching on the couch, so it's a little different, but we were trying to figure out, okay, there's so many power plays, there's so many penalties on both sides. Like, we were trying to figure out, okay, is the fourth line really together again, or have they just put them out there after power plays? Like, what's going on? But it seemed like they went right back to the fourth line, and again, they were fine tonight, very good. So, but I like the idea of you got to get Brad going. So I like the idea of Lindholm. I think Zaka should be able to carry a line. Patra played pretty well. A nice assist, and him with the puck. He holds on to pucks.
He admitted I did a first period walk off with him about. The right wing, very different still. I mean, it's going to be. I mean, he only played it,
He still ends up over on the left side all the time, right? Like, he was on the left side a lot tonight.
But it's a different feel where you pick up the puck, when you touch it, etc. It is a very different feel. Yeah. I agree with you. He does. He loves to, he sifts his way over to that left wing side an awful lot. But he's still talking about how it's still odd for him, having played his whole career as a center wherever he's been. And yes, he had, I think it was 2 games on the right side in training camp, pretty much. And then he got hurt, or, so it's really not like he's had this opportunity. So, but overall, I thought he was okay at times, noticeable at times.
So again, I think they have good hockey players. So it ends up, when they put the lines together, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That looks good. but it's not translating yet. There's been no spark that has really been lit with one of these changes that they've made. So that's again, that's keeps coaches up at night. No one's sleeping tonight trying to think about these lines, because I'm sure they put a lot of effort into that. They think about that a lot, and they talk a lot, and they communicate a lot, and they have meetings about it, and they think they put it together, and they have a very good reason for putting all of it together, and analytics and stats and data, and it all is like, you know what, this is going to work. And then you lose 5-2, and it's like, geez, now we got to go back to the drawing board on what we're going to do. So,
are we at the
that's
point,
a long way of saying, like, I thought they all look good. Like, I thought that, all right, this one of these is going to kind of pop, and we didn't really get it.
No. Have we reached that point of, and I'm going to have to ask you and me this, every game, if it keeps up like this, are we at the point of you got to take a chance and put some guys through waivers and either call up Fabian Lysell? I don't think it's the end all be all answer, because there's still a lot of growth in his game, or the Tyler Johnson signing. I mean, I'm pretty sure I asked you this yesterday morning as well, didn't I?
Yeah, we knew nothing was going to happen before this game, right? Like, coming off the road, they're on the road trip, nothing, but we could see something tomorrow. And if it's not tomorrow, they'll have a day off Sunday, practice Monday, home again Tuesday. Like, we could see something over the next 4 days. If that wouldn't surprise me now. It would have surprised me if they pulled something off yesterday after getting home at 4 a.m, and it's just not a day to do it. It's just hard logistically. I think this one, we're getting close. Something's going to have to give if the lines don't continue, because Monty will just be, the coaches are like, hey, we need something. That's the conversation that happens, is you go to the GM and you talk and you say, we need something else here. This is we don't have any more levers to pull.
Yeah. Tyler Johnson was a full participant in the morning skate today. He's a good sport, man. He is. I don't know if he has other offers or had other offers. I don't know. Or if they were other offers, it just didn't interest him, right? But he's a good sport. He's still here. This is Danton Heinen 2.0 right now. So it'll be interesting to see how much longer that goes without him, or without him being signed to a deal by the Bruins. All right, I think that's enough on this game. You tell me anything.
Yeah, there's not a lot of answers right now, right? Like, there's a lot of questions and not a lot of answers, and that's not ideal. And
the vibe is different. It's all, again, from down at that rink side, and it just feels different, bud. It just does, and they got to figure out a way. Every team has its own personality. Every year, a team develops a new personality. It can be similar to years past, but there's always tweaks to it. This team, they haven't found personality yet.
Nope.
They haven't.
They haven't really found anything.
They haven't.
That's you can be optimistic about that too, folks. You can be, because when they do, they have all the pieces, but until they do, it's frustrating. I get it. I really do. Like, I understand that. And you just hope that they don't take too long to figure it out.
Well, I hope not. Has there been a game that they've gotten? I'm blanking already. I mean, I guess the games against Florida get intense, but like, anybody getting really pissed off? I mean, I know you had the fight, with Shen by Kastelik. He was trying to, just get something going, but have we seen them get pissed off yet?
I don't know. Does anyone get pissed off anymore in the league?
Okay. Fair answer. Fair comment.
I agree. Like, even tonight, we did talk about that on the couch a little. Like, just grab somebody. Like, who's looking. What Frederick tried to kind of look at a few people at 4-1, but it's just so. But it's a valid question. I just don't know if it's in the league, let alone this team.
Yeah, well, it should be in this team, and not that size makes all the end all be all difference. But they got enough of it. Somebody, it can't just be Mark Kastelik being the guy doing it. Somebody else got to do it too.
Grab
Somebody's got to do it.
Yep.
Somebody's got to get pissed off.
Yep.
You got to change, right? Got to make a change. All right. Razor, you and I will not be doing a morning brew with Jaffe and Razor after the Toronto game, but we will be doing one after Tuesday's game against Philadelphia. So again, a reminder, no show after Saturday's game, but there will be a show after Tuesday's game. We will let you know as soon as hats are ready to be distributed, sold on fazendacoffee.com/morning brew. We will make a statement both here doing a show, but also social media wise. We will let you know that they are ready to go. I am getting them tomorrow morning. Like I said, at least scheduled to do that. All right. The Boston Bruins lose 5-2 to the Dallas Stars on Thursday night at TD Garden. The Bruins lost 4-0 the previous game to the Nashville Predators. They before that lost in overtime to Utah. So even though they had 1 point, it's technically, in my eyes, a 3-game losing streak right now. They have an opportunity on Saturday to try and at least get back in the win column with the game against the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Bruins, after 8 games, have a record of 3-4-1. They have let up 29 goals on the season and have only scored 23 in that time. A lot of work to be done. We're just 8 games in, but stuff needs to get done sooner than later. It's going to wrap up this morning brew with Jaffe and Razor. Everybody, hang in there. Hang in there. We, the way to get through it is to enjoy another coffee. That's just the only way to get about it. RC, thanks for everything, buddy. The man, the myth, the legend behind the scenes. Thanks for everything. And we will talk to you after Tuesday's game.